Hey everybody, Chris Eggleston here from Gravity Rangers with episode 1 of Doing More with Gravity Forms. And thank you for tuning in today. And I hope you're excited to learn about how to take Gravity Forms notifications to the next level. The first thing I want to do is explain the problem. So the problem is Gravity Forms notifications are extremely limited. You can essentially send a notification, as many notifications as you want, when the form is submitted. But there's no way, unless you go in and manually resend an existing notification, to send additional notifications to those people who have submitted the form previously. So in the past, if you wanted to use Gravity Forms to collect subscriber information, you had to connect with a third-party email marketing solution like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and the others, which is fine. Those programs are designed for and set up to make it easy to do email marketing campaigns. They've got great deliverability. They help ensure that emails are delivered, managed. The analytics are great. The tracking is great. All those things. So I do recommend that if you're going to be running a massive email marketing campaign, you continue to integrate with a solution like that. However, if you just want to use Gravity Forms to send some basic campaigns, maybe some starter campaigns, before you move them over into a MailChimp or something more aggressive. But you want to be able to do that all in one place from Gravity Forms initially. Then this plugin I'm going to introduce you to, and in this episode I'm going to actually introduce 2 plugins that will help you improve Gravity Forms notifications and be able to do more with Gravity Forms notifications. The first one is from GravityWiz, and it's called Notification Scheduler. And essentially what this plugin allows you to do is to do just that, to create multiple notifications and schedule them. You can delay them for days, weeks, months, years. Let's go ahead and show you. Now this in these episodes, I don't intend on giving you tutorials on how to actually do things. These are to introduce you to solutions to problems you may or may not have experienced. So once the notifications load, I'll show you the settings that this add-on introduces. So by default, you're going to continue to send all notifications immediately. But let's say, for example, you wanted to send your users, whoever fills out this form, you want to send them a notification on every holiday of the year. So you could go through and you could create a notification for all holidays throughout a 12-month calendar, and you can delay them or schedule them to be sent on a very specific date. So for example, the next holiday coming up here in the US from today is Thanksgiving, which is next month. So if I want to send whoever fills out this form, if I want to send them an email about Thanksgiving, wishing them a happy Thanksgiving, then I can do that by creating the notification, putting in all the information, all the normal settings that you would use in a Gravity Forms notification. Who's it to? What's the subject? So I'm going to call this Happy Thanksgiving, and then a personal message in here. All right, I'm not going to use all fields because in this case, they didn't just fill out the form. This is a month later. They're going to get this email from me. So I'm going to create a custom message. And then I'm going to select the scheduling a date, and I'm going to send it the day before Thanksgiving, just in case they're not checking emails on Thanksgiving. And I'm going to send it 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm going to send it at noon the day before. So here's a chance that I'm going to touch somebody, and by touching, I don't mean make them feel special. I just mean touching them with a contact, right? Somebody who opted into my form today, October 31st. Happy Halloween, by the way. They opted in today, 31st, and I'm going to reach out to them again in a month almost and say, hey, thinking about you. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Have a great week, right? Boom. Just something simple, just a simple touch to keep in contact. So I can do that. But now, if I want to get a little more in depth with this, let's say I want to send an onboarding campaign. Somebody opts into gravityranger.com, and instead of just saying, hey, thanks, check your email for our next newsletter, and then depend on MailChimp to send out my newsletter campaign, what if I want to handle that through Gravity Forms? Well, now I can, right? So maybe I'm going to say an onboarding campaign. Initially, what I'm going to do is before they get into the newsletter, I wanted them to do 3 things. Okay, so when they first opt in, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to send the first opt-in immediately. And this is just going to be a welcome email saying, hey, thanks for subscribing to GravityRanger.com. Just want to let you know, really appreciate it. These are the topics that we cover at GravityRanger.com. Check your email tomorrow. I'm going to be sending you another email with some exciting information. Done. And then I'm going to create another notification. Remember, I'm doing 3 of these. So my second notification is going to be delayed for 1 day. Okay. So it's going to go out the day after this person subscribes. Now, that email is going to say something like, hey, thanks again for subscribing to GravityRanger.com. I'd really appreciate it if you do me a big favor. Have you checked out our YouTube channel? If not, head on over to youtube.com/whatever and check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, make sure you see all the tutorials we're posting there as well. All right, thanks. Check your email tomorrow for another message from us. So now I'm going to go and create the third email, right? And this one's going to be delayed 2 days. So it's going to come 2 days after they've opted in. And in this email, it's going to be something like, hey, thanks again for subscribing to Gravity Ranger and for going over to YouTube and subscribing. If you haven't yet, here's your quick reminder. Please do that. We publish a lot of tutorials there. Now, what I want you to do today, because we want to be able to provide the best information possible for you and help you in your journey with Gravity Forms, can you complete this quick survey? And then I'm going to link to a survey at GravityRanger.com, which is going to ask them a couple of questions so we can get to know them better. And then from there, on that survey, they're going to be opted in to our newsletter, in which we're going to be sent out every week, which I can also do through Gravity Forms. Okay, so that's one plugin. It takes care of the scheduling aspect. So you can go through and create, and it doesn't matter how many notifications per form that you can schedule to be sent out on a whatever basis you want, monthly, weekly, yearly, a specific date, minutes. Okay, so that's one plugin. Now the second plugin, if you want to, let's say I want to do my newsletter through Gravity Forms instead of using MailChimp, I can do that. Okay, and the plugin we're going to use for that is called Gravity Hopper. And Gravity Hopper has a feature called email templates. So what email templates allow you to do is very easily design a much nicer email, an HTML email, instead of sending plain text. Now, currently with Gravity Forms, if you want to send an HTML email, you have to actually code an email in HTML and CSS and install it within your Forms body message here in the text tab. Okay, so you'd have to create an HTML message and put it in here and hope nobody messes with it. What Gravity Hopper is going to do is they currently have, it looks like 4 templates available. Okay, and these templates make it easy for you to go into your notifications. Okay, you can select the template you want to use, and then you can easily edit this template by clicking these pencils. Okay, now the message is going to be pulled from whatever you have up here in this box. So let's say I want to use this for my newsletter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these nifty templates because it's a heck of a lot easier than creating my own with HTML and hoping that it works. So I'm going to use one of Gravity Hopper's templates, and I'm just going to use this one. So, but I want to pull blog posts into this newsletter. So I want to pull my latest blog post. Well, you can't do that with Gravity Forms by default, but there is a third-party tutorial, and I've linked to it below this video, that you can go and use to create a shortcode that will allow you to pull your blog post content into your Gravity Forms notifications. So now I not only have a pretty email that looks like an actual newsletter being sent to my subscribers, I can also pull into the message area blog posts from my blog on GravityRanger.com and display those. Here's an example of what that looks like. Display those within my notification email that's going to be sent out every week to whoever subscribes in a pretty HTML template format like you see here. Okay, so again, I'll link to all these resources below this video, but that's what I wanted to cover today. I wanted just to share with you how you can take Gravity Forms basic notifications and turn them into this powerhouse of email marketing and beautiful emails without a lot of work. right? This reduces so much work of having to create custom HTML templates, having to figure out how to code JavaScript to manually handle or to systematically handle all of these schedules, right? Something you would never try to do because it would be so complex. You would just jump over and use one of the third-party MailChimps, ActiveCampaigns, Constant Contacts, etc. Now, one thing I do want to note, and this is very important, I'm going to end on this today, and it's very important, so please take note. If you're going to use Gravity Forms to send email campaigns, I highly recommend that you do not depend upon your web hosting's email functionality. There are too many issues that could be presented, especially if you're using a shared hosting provider. They have a lot of issues with spam filters. Again, on a shared environment, you're dealing with not only, it's not your IP address, that IP address can be shared amongst 100,000 different websites, and any one of them could be being flagged for spam, which then would affect you and your deliverability. So I highly recommend that you use a third-party service. I'm going to recommend SendGrid. It's the one I use. It's the one I like. And so with SendGrid, what you can do is you can use the Gravity Forms add-on for SendGrid, connect it to SendGrid, and allow SendGrid to handle all the delivering, all the sending and delivering of your emails. They have great deliverability. That's their job. That's what they do. Allow them to make sure that your emails reach your subscribers. Now, I also recommend SendGrid because it's the only one I'm aware of that has a free plan. And I think it covers you for up to like 300 emails a day, which is quite a few. So unless you're a massive website with hundreds of thousands of opt-ins every day and you're sending, everybody an email, then you may need a paid plan, but it's still worth it. So I'll link to that SendGrid add-on. I'll link to all the Gravity Forms SMTP add-ons as well. But I highly recommend that to make sure that the effort you put into using Gravity Forms notifications to stay in contact with your users doesn't go unwarranted, and that they are able to get your emails. All right. Again, this is Chris Eggleston from GravityRanger.com tuning out today. Be sure to click on all the links below the video and go check out these solutions. And I hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you in the next episode.